Welcome to Luca's podcast, where we dive into the story of incredible personality that have shaped culture, craft, and art. Today, I'm thrilled to have here one of the most unbelievable personality of our cocktail world. He's coming from Rome. He lived in London, has been the head bartender at the American bar at the Savoy, and he's been a witness of the cocktail history, one cocktail at a time. His name is Peter Dorelli. Welcome, Peter.
Thank you, Luca. Thank you for having me. And be gentle, be kind to me.
I will try to.
I am very sensitive, as you can see.
You are the best.
Thank you.
Peter, you born in 1940.
Yes.
At the age of 18, you had a great opportunity to move from Rome to London. How was that? How was that change? Tell us about it.
Quite a story there, but let's cut the story short, if you like. 3 reasons. Okay? So, first of all, I come from a family of bankers. Okay? My uncle, my father was top leaders of the banking world in Italy, in Rome. And of course, I was my uncle was 3 girls, and on our side there were 3 boys. But unfortunately, they selected me to carry on the family tradition. Big mistake, because I hate it. I used to call my uncle P-brain. You know, they had to because most of the bankers are P-brain. Anyway, but let's not indulge with that. But anyway, I didn't want to do the banking. Okay. So I was, and the other thing was I had to do the army for 18 months. So banking, definitely not. Guns in my hand, definitely not. But then I made a final thing that made it all happen. I went with a school holiday. I went with a friend of mine to Sweden. And I discovered the blondes, the wonderful world of blondes. And in Rome, in the 50s, where there were no blondes. There were brunettes, they were black, they were red, but not blonde. The blonde was only embassies and a few very, very rich tourists, because in those days travel was very expensive. My uncle was in London. So I say, hey, uncle, I need you. Get me over there. I'm drowning here. So they listened to my plea, and they got me over here. But the idea was to work with him a few months, get some money, and go to Sweden. But I never managed, because I found it in London. So there you are. And this year, diamonds, 60 years with the same gorgeous blonde.
So you're stuck in London,
and that's why I'm here. In London,
fantastic.
And in those days, where you could only come to England with a working permit, not like it's now. That's not with a Brexit is a different story. But anyway, it was only allowed with a working permit. So being young, I had not the best working permit. He was a resident handyman.
Okay, so then your uncle give you the chance to be here in London. So he took care of you, I guess, like accommodation.
Yeah.
And how was the hospitality scene back then when you just landed?
Well, I saw very little, because I sort of, as I said, I came to London by train. Then I had to spend 4 hours in London, because my first job was in Cornwall, just outside Truro. Which is Pendover Hotel, which is the Ruin Islands. Anyway, just not far from Truro.
Still in hospitality, right?
Hospitality, yes.
That's
hotel,
it.
An hotel. And that's where it all started, by the way. And so I had very little of it. But the only thing was what my first experience in London was Bar Italia. Would you believe it? And it's today, every time I go there, it's the same as it was in those days, which is in June 19th of June, 1958. Just to give you an idea.
Bar Italia is in my heart. It has been my coffee place when I used to work in Soho. I loved it so much. I still love it to this day. I love the fact that Vespa on Sunday, they pop by outside. It's a heritage of Italy in the central of London, I will say.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, yes.
So,
because in those days, the Savoy was really Italian. Really, like, I would say, ghetto would be too strong. But it was a community.
It was beautiful.
Of Italians, that's it.
I had a few books about what was going on back in the days in Soho. And as you said, it was pretty Italian. It was managed by Italian. Not to these days, unfortunately, but, it was something that culturally make us proud, right?
Yes.
The question I have for me is, you start in hospitality as soon you arrive in the UK.
Correct.
What have been the foundation that, these experiences that you had in hotels gave you?
Well, it's the very beginning. What can I say? The very beginning gave me the feel, the sensation that there was something magical for me. I felt sort of comfortable. I felt, even if it was hard, I promise you, it wasn't that easy. Everybody says that no, it was pretty hard. I was a washer up. I washed millions of glasses, millions of stuff. So it was a tough going. But nevertheless, I felt that I said, this is something me. I'm a Gemini, so I'm very curious. So I really started as an odd job. My working period was a resident handyman. So I had to do practically everything and live in, because I was young, because I was 18 years old. So I had to live in the hotel or the premises and work in the hotel. The magical bit, the first magical, apart from all the other odd jobs, is the fact that the hotel was owned by a couple.
Really intimate, I guess.
Yeah, very intimate. Yeah, because it's a very lovely hotel, but very small, not big hotel. The wife was working in the kitchen, and the husband Scottish, was in charge of mainly the bar and the shall we say liquid, if you like, the wine. It was in charge of that. And but in this particular day, which quite a few days or follow after that. About 12:30, he was quite loaded.
Yes, I believe so.
He had drinking problems. And they said to me, Peter, you take over the bar. I said, I didn't know anything about the bar. I couldn't speak very little English. And I said, what am I supposed to be doing? I said, don't worry, you're gin and tonic, whiskey and dry ginger, give them that, and you give them a beer. Anyway, if anybody asks you for anything different, there are books there. The reference books, and you find it there. I said, okay, all right. So I went. The first customer came in, a lovely lady, but middle age, and she asked me for a whiskey sour. I said, what the hell is that? What is the whiskey sour? And but I something quickly. I do it quickly because it was funny. Okay, the lady came stands down almost opposite the bar. She had a poodle in a small small dog in her lap, and she asked for me. So I was looking for the books or for the rest of the reference to see what the hell it was the whiskey sour. At the same time, I was aware of the fact that the dog was staring at me. It was fixed on his eyes, fixed on me.
Yes.
So I was looking at the dog at the same time. I said, "What is this dog looking at me so staring at me?" I realized after a few seconds that the tail of the dog was flapping, and I said, "What is that? What the dog?
Is the dog want to drink?"
And the lady was very, very pleasantly went, "Oops, oops, oops." About 3 times. And I said, oh, something happening. So she picked up the poodle, put it down, and she was covered.
Of poo.
Wet. The dog did whatever the poodle. Obviously had the problem. Had a problem.
He had other problems.
Bladder problem.
Yes.
But they gave me the chance because the lady said, would you mind to look after the dog while I'm going to change? So I then pick up the books and say, what the hell is a whiskey sour? So when I did it and I drank it, I said, what rubbish is that? I said, that's not what people drink this stuff. So I just, after my third attempt, the first of rubbish, the second, but then I just said, but this is amazing. I have a say. I can contribute to what I'm doing. Because I shake it and I say, well, wait a minute. Shaking.
You got caught up.
I got the bug.
You clicked.
I clicked. But it was not really complete because I said, well, wait a minute. There may be in the hotel outlets, might be something else. So from then, I did everything. From kitchen porter to sous chef, a bit of sous chef. And then I've been to banqueting. I did the banqueting. I did the porter. I did the concierge. I did the waiting, of course. I've been sommelier.
You have been the man.
And I did everything. Even I did the chambermaid. I was opening the curtain, and the chambermaid, you make the best bed. The bed. I was amazing the way I was making beds. Fantastic. I thought it was great. I succeeded. But I did everything. But then when I entered the bar again, I said, there's no way. That's my world. And I still love it.
That's fantastic. It's an incredible story to hear it. So you've been a tuttofare. You've been doing everything in a family-run business as a hotel. If you would like to make 3 words to describe what have been those foundations that you just told me, how would you put it in line? 3 words.
They were not easy. I promise you, they were not easy. But it forms you. It makes you. It creates that strength that it will see you through life. What can I say? It saw me that foundation. Of course, now after this years, I realized how important they were, and why. That's why I'm here today.
I see. So, should we say, has been disciplined?
Absolutely.
Has been consistency,
discipline. Shall we say, take the knocks well. They say, I never give in. Of course, there were tough times, I say, negative times, and they says, no, I will not give in. They give it the perseverance, the stamina, what's the other word I'm trying to find?
They got you ready for the next step.
Exactly.
And the next step, I guess, has been when in 1984, you stepped behind the American bar at the Savoy.
No, that was in 1981.
81. Okay, but in 1984, you became the head bartender of the American bar at the Savoy.
I was Vita, the mighty Vita, a wonderful guy, I'm actually. But
so then, would you like to tell us a little bit how has been for you the step up from being a bartender to head bartender at the Savoy in 1984?
But I was a head bartender before. But obviously the American one was different. Now, as I said, I was 38 years, 39 years with the Savoy company. Okay, so the job that I had with the start is the Savoy owned Stone Chop House. It was a restaurant off Panton Street. They had building, the Clarence building. That was on the so also the ground, by the way, which is a very unique freehold. And the Stone Chop House was a restaurant like Simpson, like Rules in London. It's very English, with roast beef and Yorkshire pudding, the trolley, that jazz. And what they did, I was there, sommelier, as I explained to you, one of my sommelier jobs. And they changed. There were 2 floors. They changed in one of the offices upstairs, which is a restaurant, 2 floors, also to a bar. Okay, so it became Stones Pebble, Stones Shop House Pebble Bar. Okay. While waiting for this happening, I was sent to an American bar. Okay, with Joe Gilmore, the mighty Joe, my teacher, my mentor. So most of what you see today, but this was my mentor to come from Joe. Anyway, so I worked there. Then it took quite a long time to actually get, so nearly a year. And then, of course, when it finished, my brother that came over, that was sharing the job with as a sommelier, both of us, they call us Mike and Ike. We took over the pebble bar. So then my brother left because of photography, and I was in charge of the bar. I was in charge of the bar anyway. I mean, we were sharing the pebble bar. So I practically managed or own the bar. You know, in those days we were owning. There was an ownership as far as concerned. So I was running the bar. And that is the best time in my life. Honestly, as a bar, it's the best experience. Why?
In the Pebble Bar.
In a pebble bar.
Okay.
Owned by the Savoy company.
Owned by the Savoy.
Yeah.
But in 1984, when you step up as a head bartender, how was your responsibility at that point?
Yes.
How you felt it on you? Because what I'm trying to analyze is the growing from day one that you arrive in the UK until then. And you give us a clear message, what you put together, you know, what type of experience you needed to be where you are in that time. How you felt the responsibility of, you know, become one of the leading figure on one of the, let's say, the meccas of cocktail worldwide, because I mean the Savoy, it's where the history of cocktail is.
Yes. Okay. First of all, I started, as you say, 1981, so it took up nearly 3.5 years or something like that, 3 years, from working in the American bar with Victor Gower. So I had a nice introduction, shall we say, to actually be aware that the hotel bars are different from just bars, which are used to from Stone Shop House, different things, right? That was just a bar, a restaurant, was not an hotel. But that's an hotel bar, and of course the Savoy Hotel, right? So I was allowed to, I had the 3.5 as a buffer zone to actually get what I wanted. That when I actually got what I wanted, which you actually have become a head bartender at the American bar, said that's, I know said it's not quite the things I wanted. So how can I shape an already established, well-known, iconic bar like the American bar? How can I make it mine? How can I make it personal?
How can I leave a mark?
Yeah, how can I leave a mark, if you say? Yes. I said, how do you do that? I mean, how can I do it? I had to have some different relationship between me and the customers, the bartenders and the customers. So that's when I start changing things. So practically from bartenders and waiters, two different embarcations. So just the bartender behind the bar, that's it. We're now moving later, and the waiters. That's it. I changed all that. That was too stereotyped.
In which sense?
In which sense? That I just said, no, I don't want to. We are all bartenders and we are all waiters.
Everyone does everything.
Everything.
As a teamwork.
Teamwork. Exactly.
Can you tell us what...
that helps me a lot, for example, just to give you an idea. It's the incentive. The incentive that very important in our jobs, to give the incentive to people to operate, to give every possible thing to progress, to progress from A to B.
Sure.
So what I did, obviously, we were 7 people. Now they're 18, 24, but anyway, another story. It's 7 people. So 2 days off, 5. 3 stations, One behind the bar, me and Jolly. Problem here, problem there, boom, 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 right? But the question was, who's going to be behind the bar?
I was about to think about it, about the system that you just explained. Would you like to tell us what your typical day was back in the days? You and your team.
My team, being like small team 7, which is obviously very important. Everybody does everything. Now imagine the relationship between the waiting staff, which are the one that alternatively goes behind the bar and making drinks, right? So he's the one to make the drinks. They make the classic and whatever we did, they did the cost. Then there's this turn that is waiting. So what would the relationship between that person to the customer sitting down? Would you just give you the menu and say, what would you like to drink? That is our cocktail list. Would you say that? Or would you say, hello, welcome? I say, what do you like to drink? Now we have this and that. They said, amazing, we have a cocktail of the month at so and so, especially the one to create, because every month somebody will create a cocktail and he will be promoting to the customer. So you can imagine the excitement to say, we have an amazing cocktail called so and so. He's the one to create the cocktail, so you want to sell it. He has a whole. So the relationship between all of us as a team, because nobody could be left behind because we're too few. So everybody got to join in. And the second thing, that team in relation to the customers. Amazing.
So what you're telling me, you had a chance to introduce a tailor-made experience.
Right.
You brought your Italian charm.
Yes.
Into the mix.
Yes. And all
Can we simplify like that?
Yes. And all my staff, I made sure that they had the same outlook, same behavior, same interest.
In this sense, your experience, it goes beyond the cocktails. It's about creating an experience.
Right.
There's been a cocktail that is really important to you, I guess, and it's called Elise, is honor to your daughter.
Right.
Would you like to tell us about that?
Well, it's what better reason to a bartender to make a cocktail for who? For your family, my first child, which is called Elise. Gorgeous lady, of course, she's absolutely gorgeous. She'll give me 2 granddaughters now, which are even amazing. The fun is continuing. And so what is a better way is to create a cocktail? And the even better, if you like, I won the competition with that, which is the European cocktail competition, which was done in Bremerhaven in Germany, in the amazing ship called Europa, which is 5-star deluxe ship, which was an amazing experience. And we are quite a lot from all Europe to create. And to me, sounds rather... I always enjoy competitions. To me, the competition itself is the cake. To put it mild, the cake is the competition.
Why you love it?
I love it because of the interaction between people with the same passions, the same enthusiasm, and also give me a very legally spine. legal spine to my fellow workers, for fellow passion, or shall we say, to actually get the idea, sharing ideas, sharing knowledge. You understand? So I actually pick up pick idea from there. Do you do that? Oh, really? Oh, wow. So you're actually learning, picking up all this wonderful information, idea, message. So it's great for me that the cake is the most important, always been. But then, of course, if I won, for example, with my Elise, that was the cherry on the cake, which is obviously lovely, but it's only a cherry. The cake is much much more rewarding than a cake, as far as I'm concerned.
This competition gave you the opportunity to feel yourself really sure about drinks, about the cocktail that you have created, right? And this, I think, give you as well the opportunity to do a lot of film premiere and a lot of royal events and etc. Has been one of those that really resonate with you and you felt it really personal that you want to tell about us.
Well, let me put one of them, the first one. Let me tell you about the first one, first of all. The first one was, I was one of my customers, Stone Shop House, Pebble Bar, was the very renowned person, and he wrote about 4 books, and 2 of them on Martini. Huh? And so he said, so it used to be a regular for me. And then he said, well, Mr. Peter, I'm actually running competitions, United Kingdom competition, not just the London competition, on martinis. I say, very nice to know. Thank you very much. That's great. And would you like to be part of? I say, yes, of course. And I did a part of it. And today I can say that I am the first one with a cup winning the Dry Martini Awards in 1969. And that was wonderful. I promise you, the moment I say, wow, wait a minute, something so simple, which a lot of people had great difficulties. I mean, what it is? But unfortunately, simplicity is very difficult for a human being. Everything has to be more complicated. Everything has to be complicated. But when you think something simple, people have great difficulty, even today.
Simplicity is the hardest thing to achieve. Especially in a world where it looks so complicated. Everyone thinks so complicated, and you're absolutely right. I agree with that.
Yes.
And simplicity, it's key.
Simplicity is key. And of course, in my days, of course, it was much better because we're talking about classics here. They were very, in my days, 50s and 60s, talking about classics. And classics are very simple. As you know, are very simple. And they're not problematic. 4 ingredients. Wow. We're talking about 4 ingredients. So, and even today, as I say, talking about the bartenders, talking about classic, they have a problem. They have a problem. But then they're talking about wonderful, made syrups, homemade bitters, homemade everything over. They love it because they love all this wonderful, complicated thing. But in those days, as I said, every time I speak sometimes, we had very little, but we made a lot. We did a lot. Now you have a lot. What do you do with it? Exclamation mark.
I think that's great. You have been deeply involved in shaping the next generation of bartender, not just as a role model, but as a teacher, as a mentor, as a president of the UKBG. What did the role as a president of the UKBG mean to you?
I was always great importance for training. Training is very, very important. And the UKBG stands for training. It was born, the birth of UKBG was for training. And I don't know if anybody knows about the birth of the UKBG, but in those days, in the 30s, unfortunately, the prohibition, as you know, the prohibition after the First World War, then the prohibition, we have a lot of Americans who coming over here asking for things that we never heard because, Harry Craddock, which obviously Savoy managed to hold on, and picked him up. So Harry Craddock, which wrote a book about the Savoy, he was the first president, and a group of head bartenders in the West End got together I say, listen, if we not do something like that, we're going to lose our customer. We're going to lose it. So what are we going to do? So they create this association for learning, and to start learning all the cocktails and all the things that people was asking from abroad. And that's why the UKBG. So that when it burst, they would start to train all the other bartenders and all, especially hotel bars, of course, because their bars was in those days was the only thing. So that's it. So that gave me the opportunity to continue that learning process and teaching and trying to raise the profile. Always try to improve and raise the profile.
It's wonderful. Knowledge is power, they say.
Indeed.
So if we want to talk about the evolution of bartending, how do you see it in the early days to today?
In those days, my days, things were much slower. Everything, we had just much more time to learn. Everything was more gradual, much slower. So time to not only to learn, but to recapture it, if you like. What you learned from, recapture. Is that correct? They had plenty of time. Unfortunately, not today. So to have, for example, to make a friend of a customers, we had plenty of times. Days, if you like. Today, you go half an hour, 20 minutes.
So you're saying things that go really fast compared to what it used to be?
Oh, absolutely. The speed is enormous today. I mean, but then you have everything. For example, we have no books. You had this, as I say, we used Harry Craddock, but there were very few books, and some of them even the recipe were wrong. So we were, for example, talking to our customer, we tell stories, we create stories. We are storytellers, but they were not accurate because we had no way to find out and get the real thing. So we created, so that even then we produce something historical, of course, with the drinks, with this, the boom. So, but today you cannot do that because now with social media, if you say something, they immediately find out that, so you have to be very accurate today. You have to know exactly, you have to be educated, shall we say, 100%, because otherwise they find you out straight away. So, it's a lot today, but then there are courses, there are schools, but nothing, in my days were nothing. The only way you could learn is to go to a bar, which I did, apply for the American bar, the Savoy, and be taught by the masters on those days. That is the only way you could actually, because I wanted to learn and well, so I applied for that kind of jobs, and I got it. Of course, I'm glad to say.
Wow!
But I say time, and now it's different. Of course, now it's very different.
If we will have a general thought about bartending, and let's imagine that. We can look into things like, valuable for you. What are the most important value and lesson you try to pass on to the next generation of bartending?
Well, let me start for something very quickly. How I was running the place when I was in the Savoy. People come and look for jobs and asking for a job. And I used to say, wonderful, thank you very much. I hope you're successful, but thank you very much. That's the door. And they used to look at me and say, what did I say? What did I say? Was a surprise. You could say, oh, I'm sorry, I offend, or like offending. So it was a very much an emotional situation. So after a few attempts, I said, okay, young man, let me enlighten you. Okay? Now, the American bar here is it's not a job. It's a way of life. Okay? So if you look for a job, this is not a place. But if you want looking for a way of life, this is a place. Okay? And they look at me and say, maybe you're not maybe understood that well, but let me tell you why. Okay? In here, you work 10 to 12 hours a day. Okay? It's 10 to 12 hours a day. I don't know how long it takes you from where you live to come here. But let's say an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, 1 hour back. In London, most probably will take an hour each way, 2 hours. Okay? So we are now working, let's sample the 12 hours, or even 10 hours if you wish. But anyway, it will be 14 hours. How many hours you're going to sleep or you're required to sleep? 7 hours? 7 hours? Okay, let's say 7 hours. Okay? Now we're talking about 14 hours plus 7 hours is 21 hours. Okay, agree? Or 20, let's say 20 hours. Okay? There are only 24 hours in a day. Okay? So if I now tell you that I'm 70 years old, but I've lived 12 years, 13 years, what does it sound to you? Does it make sense to you? Because anybody tells me that, I will blow my mind. I'm hoping for my next reincarnation, I have a better deal. That's simple, right? So how do you cope with your life? How do you deal with a situation like this? So you had to say that the 10 hours and the 12 hours is your life. It is not a job. Because only that makes sense. Only that makes sense, your life. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. Right? So that's a platform, number one. If it's a job, if you look for money, find something else. Find something else, because I'm sure there are better money you can get from doing something else. But if you love what you're doing, if you pick up, if you find your vocation, if you find something that really you love, which is a bartending, that's your life. It cannot be anything else. And if it's your life, it has not ending.
So should we say that the message you want to pass it on is bartending is a lifestyle, is not a job?
Exactly. It's a life. Otherwise, don't do it. It's hard enough. It's hard enough. The long hours. Now today we have the wonderful bars down the dungeons down there. You don't see a day, not to say a bit of a daylight. And the only daylight you see when you actually finish work.
I see your point.
I say, your point. It's then long hours. So what do you do with the social, on a social aspect? It's tough.
Yeah. Now, lifestyle. Bartending is a lifestyle from your point of view, and it's great. But as well, all this hard work that you put together, it brought you to get so many awards and so many accolades, right? Yes. Is there any awards or accolades that you received that is really meaningful to you, that you felt it belonging to you? Any awards that you felt are yours, 100%? Why I do make with this question? Know you as a person.
I'm sorry to say, I know. Please don't get me wrong, okay? Because sometimes I do. Most people know that I do yoga. I meditate. I do a soul searching. You know, I'm very much into the other world, this world of mine. And so, even if, of course, I'm very grateful, by all means, please, whatever it is, don't get me wrong. But all this accolade, all these titles and names and things like this, unfortunately, means very little to me. It's not maybe unfair to say that, because it's not little. Because if you give it to me, you recognize. Obviously, I appreciate and I value everything that anybody gives to me. But I have the little problem when it comes to me. I care about the human being. I care about people. I relate to people. I love people. You see? So if anybody gives me some, whatever they want to give me, I appreciate, my God, I appreciate. But they never detach me from my reality. My reality is talking to you, Luca, and talking to you. And what I'm trying to achieve here is that your life, and if you have a means to express your life and fulfill your life, what is the better way to do it through bartending? I'm sorry to say, but
nothing else.
I feel, I won't say sorry, but I feel for other jobs or whatever people do in life. But we have means to make or break a human being. When a person comes to you and say that with your troubles and tribulations, with your worries, when your duty is to make peace with this guy, give him peace.
Do you think that your maturity comes with the age?
Maturity?
Yeah, because the words that you're using...
intellect, or you talk about...
I talk about, yes, in both ways, because the fact that you are saying that you are a people person,
yes,
and you are not just a guy that he goes after the awards. What you go after is make it great what you do. Yes. And is, sorry to say, but in this society of 2025, it doesn't look like people go after people. They go after other things. And it's beautiful. And for me, it's a real strong point of maturity. Of course, you are a mentor for all of us in this industry. And do you think this comes with the age?
Well, the age improves, of course. I mean, you're mellow with time. You know, you're less, you're much more calm, mentally calm, and so this. You're not so bombastic, not so no, aggressive is the wrong word, but you know, it's so forward, shall we say, forward. Obviously, that helps. Yes, indeed, it is.
But because also there is something else that really took my attention. Even in retirement, like you are pushing like a crazy horse. I mean, you are giving master classes, you traveling the world, every bar show we are going, you are present. You know, what drives you to keep on going?
Passion. Passion feeds itself. Passion is not something that, I know some people call it passion, but just a word. But I promise you, it's not just a word. If you have the passion regenerate itself, recharge itself. There is no wastage. So you find that you find the energy in every situation because there is no wastage. If you're in conflict, or you're doing something you don't want to do, or because of whatever reason you have, then it's all that wasted energy. I have no waste because I'm always in the right place at the right time, do what I want or what I like. So where's the wastage?
There is no wastage.
Because if I be somewhere, for example here talking to you, but wishing to be somewhere else, I would be in conflict, would I? So I would be sitting down here, wasting a lot of energy. Then I will get up from here tired because I would like to be somewhere else. Do you understand what I'm saying? So
you are here in the present moment.
Totally, 100%, talking to you.
I can feel it.
And that's it. There is no other reality in my life. I get up, I go away from here, and I will be somebody else. I will be absorbed by the traffic, the smell, the noise, but because I'm part of that, I'm living in this kind of society. So I want to be aware of the traffic problems aware of the people on the tube station like sardines in that hot environment like sardine. And I can understand that they are neurotic, more neurotic, because we are like sardines. If you put so close, there is some damage there. There is some things going on. So I would like to be aware of that. I want to be aware. I want to leave that moment and understand people like me. I say, my God, it's so hot. They must be hot as well. They must have, oh my God, they have to have this sensation. And they have it every day. People do that every day. So I want to, what would be the consequences of people doing that every day in that kind of environment, that kind of situation? I want to know, because if in that case, I will understand the next person that comes to me, coming out to the tube. I know exactly how it feels. And I know exactly how to approach it. Because I can't be, oh, smiling, God, what do you smile about? He's not in the mood to welcome my smile, I promise you. He's not. So why should I smile? I understand that he doesn't want to smile. You want to be, oh God, it's tough. Wasn't it tough? It's tough, yeah, no, trust it.
I've got the feeling.
So to me, I'll give you an idea. I give one example, then maybe I talk too much. But at the American bar, nobody left me. Nobody left the American bar without my blessing. Simple. Every Friday morning, as a department meeting, I say the first item in the agenda, how to reduce the staff turnover. Was not my concern, because we all took no action. In my bar, everyone was an individual. Everybody's different from one another. Why should I put the rules that apply to everybody, boom, rigidly? Rubbish. In my bar was never such thing. There is some people learning very fast, but but if you don't look after them, motivate them, give them motivation, give them responsibility. That's what they want. And that's the way you can keep them. Because if you don't, they leave it. Because they pick up, they get fed up, they get annoyed, they get bored, so they leave. But then there's the one that learn slow learner, the slow learner. So there's the one that takes longer to learn, but they stay longer in the part. So how do you feed the guy? Would you feed the same way you're feeding the one that is back? No. So everybody's different. And I treated everybody differently. And what I mean that when you get together, we all understood each other. We all understand our differences and our peculiarities. And so we all kindly allow for the difference.
I love that. You are a people person. 200%.
Yes.
200%.
That's it.
And it's really inspirational to listening what you have to say.
Body language, by the way. Body language is one of the most important things in our jobs.
You were taking me to the next steps. I wanted to ask you. You talk about telling a story. We are storyteller. You are talking to me, moving your hands, as I do, because I like it. Would you like to tell us a little bit about the fact of, the body language, how important it is for you, and how important it is to tell a story?
Yes. Well, this was one of my teaching when I was training my staff. One of the things I was teaching, which is very unorthodox, because what Mr. Dorelli is doing, it must be a nutcase. Obviously, I must appear dreadful. It must have dreadful. But anyway, that's the point was, the important delivered. For example, just give you an idea. Okay, today I teach you how to see. Now you tell me, if I how to see, excuse me, Mr. Dorelli, I say, I'm going to teach you how to see. Did anybody told you how to see? No. You see, that's the problem. You take for granted that is what you see is what is. No. And I can tell you, sure, I can show you to wow. And let's go to the process of learning. So I went through the first, coming to the bar, coming in, look at the bar, take your time, look everything you see, have a look, and then come to me and we'll deal with it. I say, okay, Now you entered, you look. Yes, okay. Can you tell me what's on the third table on the right, what's on the table? I think it's the cocktail list. Yeah. Okay, what else? Problems. They look but not look. They did not capture that moment. So they did not realize. They didn't realize it. I said, well, okay, so lesson number 2. So by the time I finish with them, walk in, look at the room, come back to me, so and so and so and so. Occasionally, I've been naughty. I used to put a little powder on a plug, electric plug. But you didn't notice that. It was a bit naughty for me. But I mean, I was jokingly, of course. But I mean, spot on. So, second lesson, body language. Look at the customer when comes in. The person comes in, heavy-footed, shoulders slightly bent, just slightly curved like this. Body. What would you say to him? How do you approach him? How would you welcome him? How would you? Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Welcome. No, wait.
Step by step.
Step by step. Now, what does he tell you? He tells you that he had a rough day. He had a tough day. This guy is tired. He was probably working in a city. It was 7 o'clock in the morning. He was already answering questions, answer phone, boom, bam, all the, good stuff, asking me question, boom, boom. And what are you going to tell him? What are you going to do to him? I said, good evening, sir. Share the table. What would you like to drink? Why? He had made, from the morning at 7 o'clock, he made 1,001 decision. Why should he come to the American bank and make another decision? Make the decision for him. That's what we used to do. They said, give me a glass of champagne. So, sir, would you mind to, and anybody joining you? Is it anybody? I'll say, okay, please sit down. And then just leave it, go back, bring a glass of champagne, give it to him. Say, sir, this is a glass of champagne on the house, of course. And move out. So you see, so it doesn't have to worry about the whether it's going to be looked after or not looking after. It doesn't have to be the price of whether we're going to hit him by price and kill him with the price and whatever it is. And so all is worried, just sink. You could say actually sink into the seat. And pick up the glass of champagne and drink. That's the way to do it. And then, of course, if it comes to the wife, you could suggest that, say, would you like me to put a bottle of champagne for when the wife comes? You can do that without, but you say, no, well, yes, that is fine. We'll wait for the wife to come. So it's all, but then it's already, the job is done. Another one comes in.
So for you, it is extremely important. Body language.
Reading the person.
What about storytelling?
Storytelling in this thing, very, very important. But, for example, common sense, understanding the person in front of you. What does it mean? You can storytelling. For example, I won't mention the bar. Well, it's not friendly, but not long ago. It was so funny. The bartender and the customers. The customer mention about an old fashioned. Okay, so he gave an old fashioned, but at the same time was telling the story, the original fashioned, and how how it was created. Blah, 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 blah. At the same time, I could see the customers with a glass of it go, oh yes. Yes. Very interesting. Yes. Oh, yeah. So practically, this guy has been trying to drink this drink and put it in his mouth 3 times. And he was interrupted by the fact that because he was gentleman, he was courteous, he was not the one to interrupt the bartender. So he was trying to get. So, storytelling is not an ego trip. Storytelling introducing our world and to say to the customer, whoever it is, welcome to our world. Welcome to the bar, which is a stage. Welcome to our home. Welcome to our bar or the stage. And I say, this cocktail, so we do this and that, and told you about the story. It's only the story that goes with the drink. So you are giving life. You give a heartbeat to the cocktail. Becomes something, not just a cocktail, because that goes with it. That is a thing that we actually, what it means, that the chance to create the magic moments. That's where it counts.
Would you say that the storytelling is the perfect garnish for every experience?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Better, yes. Wonderful. Thank you. Nicely put, Luca. Nicely put.
Let's step a little bit outside the bar. Your family clearly it means the world to you.
Absolutely.
Can you tell a bit about them?
Right. I love them dearly, of course, then. But maybe it doesn't matter how you sometimes look at it or not looking at it. It's a question of right. There's no right and wrong in anything. Honestly, that is a made up. Who is right and wrong? Who decides who's right and wrong? Who could? I mean, to me, right and wrong do not exist. Whatever you do, if you mean well, you do it. If you make a mistake, you learn by mistake. But you know they made a mistake, so you don't need somebody who tells you it's right and wrong. Anyway, that's another. So, because I love them, I don't want burden them too much with it, because life is it's difficult. It's difficult in itself without any help from me. Do you know what I want? Whatever. So what I'm saying is that I very much lean back. I'm a very sort of grandpa who's lean back and listen. That's it. Now, if they want to, I give them a little bit, not too much, but a little bit. Because as I said, being young, it's hard. It's hard from the beginning, teenagers. We know about the teenager nightmares. There are nightmares, moment, in physically, mentally, morally, whatever it is you want to do. What, you want to burden them with all your, oh, you should do this, you should that. What is this nonsense? So, it's live and let live. And their experience is their life. My experience belongs to me, it does not belong to anybody. And to actually say that my experience is you should follow me, or should like a teaching, like for example teaching. Apart from teaching bartender, which is an art, which is a thing. I agree with you. But when it comes to another human being, be careful to advise, to put in whatever, you should do this, you should do that.
Everyone's different. Everyone's their own pace.
It's just like a blind is leading a blind. It's as simple as that. You have not this arrogance to expect that somebody takes what you say as the rules, as the way it should be. How dare you? I mean, it's arrogance, which I do not belong to the world.
Wow. Well, bartending is your first passion.
Yes.
But you are really passionate about golf. How that came into your life?
That's just a long story. Okay, so I was a very active person, always. And I used to play, my number one passion was tennis. But coming to England, playing tennis is a nightmare. Why? Because unfortunately the weather is not conducive to play to play tennis, right? So because you program to play tennis in 4 hours, then here comes the rain, bye-bye. And so then after that, you cannot make any arrangement because everything is booked. So it's too late for anything. So you're stuck, right? So I said, well, what can I do to help to save this year? I started playing squash. Squash is great because it's not the weather condition. Doesn't matter. You're in a box. You're indoor, right? The only problem is that, unfortunately, if you happen to pass somebody who played a tough game before you enter the squash. You need the wonderful order is not very helpful. But apart from that, was okay. So this is what I did. But the problem is that I always had is that if you are, for example, living a long time in the Savoy, for example, in a job for a long time, what happens to a person? Becomes fearful, worries, because what happens if I leave, or whatever they give me the sack, or maybe redundant? It's a problem. Because if you're comfortable all these years, you adjusted, and it's maybe monotonous. You're part of that world, which is so it becomes quite fearful. So I say, oh no, that's not me. So I used to, for example, give you an idea. I used to be the employment agencies, which it wasn't far from the Savoy. I used to once a month. I used to sit down there for 2 or 3 hours. And listen to all the problems of people looking for jobs. And listen to all the problems they had and this and that. And then, of course, I knew the person in charge, of course, because a friend of mine. So I used to give him a hand. I said, Peter, if you, just in case, if you hear something, give me a hand to deal with it. So when I start repeating that, so I solved one problem. The problem is that if I get a sack, if I dismiss, or whatever it is, I will not be fearful. Oh, what am I going to do? Oh dear, I've got a managed job. Should I? No, because I've been doing it for once a day in every month. So I say, I got a job. Oh, no problem. I know exactly what to do. How to solve the situation. Number one. So I got rid of that problem. Then I say, well, if I been active, well, if I through the years, maybe which I did, which happened, of course. I said, what am I going to do? What kind of sport I can do? If I'm in good health, I can still play. So I looked around. So I say, I saw some people 90 years old who were still playing. Oh, wait a minute. Let me investigate this game. So I investigated the game and I got a passion. Of course, I said, oh, wait a minute. It's me against the odds, not me against somebody else. But it's me. I decide from the ball will not move until I decide so.
It's me against me.
Exactly. You see, I thought, oh, wow, that's amazing. Because that ball won't move without me doing anything. Tennis, you're reacting. It's any other game. You're reacting to the thing. But golf is all that. It's you against the course. Against nobody. The course is the one. So what happens? So I say, okay, I play squash. After so many years, the homeopathic said to me, Peter, you are the good innings. Now you have to stop. I said, what do you mean? Yeah, because if you continue, you're going to have a hip replacements. You have a most probably you will have a very difficult and maybe some back problem. Even if you do yoga, but you still have a problem because you're twisting, turning, and things like this. I said, well, you have a point because I've been doing it for many years. So I said, what? I said, you got it. So, okay, back to go. I said, all right, what else can I do? He said to me, play tennis. But tennis is back to square one with the flipping weather. So I said, you know what? No, play golf because now even if it's rain, I have my waterproof. I have my waterproof, my gear, everything. So it doesn't matter. The only problem is lightning. That's the only thing that scared the game.
How long have you been doing it?
From early 60s.
Wow. You should give me like a course. I would like to learn a little bit of golf.
Yeah, I can actually show you, but unfortunately, I'm afraid to say, is that a couple of months ago, in England, we wonderful say, the bigger they come, the harder they fall. And unfortunately, I met the ground 2.5 months ago. And it's not very friendly down there, you see? The ground is not very friendly, see? So I damaged my shoulder.
No way.
Now,
you should be fine.
a couple of physio, give me a job. Give a job to everybody.
Yeah,
so
give something to do.
Exactly. Give it the physio yes. something to do. Say,
otherwise, they're gonna look. They're gonna be with
exactly.
the like rolling it like that. So
but,
that's
now I'm practicing my putty, which is a very in golf is a very tough. Putty is the most important.
It's a lot of brain. It's a lot of skill.
You need your swing for show. You putt for dough. The money is on the putting, not on the swing.
I see. Look.
So it's a question, and now because I can do nothing else. I'm practicing my putting in my house, in my carpet, and all the rest.
Peter, don't worry. We're gonna do mini golf.
Yeah, I go
back in the days, do it.
Crazy golf, crazy golf. Yeah.
So it leads me to the last question of the day. And
so look ahead. What's I want to say? Look ahead. No, okay. Don't be. It's plan. But yes, look and see what.
Look ahead and see what it fits you. What it fits you with whatever you have around.
Motivates. So you keep things alive.
The thing that I have is, we've been learning a little bit about you today. There is so much more that we can talk about it, but we have only 1 hour.
Yeah.
But the thing that is really get me is, how would you like your legacy to look like?
It's not up to me. It's whatever image I portray, whatever people. It's people that whatever they think of me. I don't know.
You let others to make a choice for you.
The only thing I can say is not selfishness, is not hypocritical, is not me, because no. You see what I mean? I am what I am, and I can be. I'm trying to be the best of me. You understand? So, if there is any problem with somebody else, it's their problem. It's not mine. It's just a big-headed, something. Of course, it can be mistaken as a big head, big egos, because you think you're the best. No, I'm not the best or the worst. It's me. I'm me. Why should I be somebody else? Why should I be what you want me to be? You understand? Or reflection was somebody else, or what society would like me to be, or whoever it is wanted to be. So why should I be? No, I'm me, and I try to be as honest, as sincere, as honest to my feeling, to everything, and then I can do more than that. So I say, if anybody's uncomfortable, it's a problem. Sorry, let me, for example, one of the things that body language teaches you, what happens? If my wife or anybody come to me and say something, for example, rude. Now, if you tell me to whatever language or awful word, F off, whatever it is, right? It's just a word. The way you say it is important to me. Now, if you say it, you're tension, you're frustrated, you're hungry, and you say, that means nothing. I may say, listen, let me. What's worrying you? What's worrying you? Whatever. Forget about the word. What's worrying you? Why you're so uptight? Why you so nervous? Why you're so upset? What's upset you? Because the word we say you said in a context which has no relevant. I care about you, what you're feeling, why you say that to me. Why you feel that you say that to me? Why it makes you that? Let me find out why. Why you're so? Why? What have I offended you? Have I done something that offended you? You know what I mean? It's the body language that tells me. So the body language already tells me what the words confirming what I already know by your body language.
I see. So, clear. It's clear. Let me get this. what it would be the best advice in 3 words that you will share it with the next generation of bartenders? 3 words.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one.
It's a tough one. It's 4.
It's a tough one. No, it's a tough one because today is a very complex life. As I said to you before, was simple. We have now, for example, my grandchild is 13 years old. Is practically what I used to be in practically was 1920. We are on the same level. What 20 in the old days is now 13. We're on the same level. So the pressure is enormous. So the pressure is more, it's always very pressure strong and very strong. There's influence. So there's this constant bombardment of the people have. So my only suggestion or only advice, be yourself. Be honest to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Don't condemn yourself. And possibly, if you want to listen to somebody else, don't take it for granted. Don't take it as a Bible. If you take something from somebody else, find out yourself whether that thing, whatever it may be, is right. And it can only be right if you you make that experience. If you translate whatever somebody tells you, like me, for example, or anybody else, don't take it as it is. Find out. So, okay, kind of quickly. Okay.
Please, go.
Yes and no is unreal. Not real. It's an illusion. So yes and no. So I say, what are you talking about? Yes and no. Yeah, okay. Let me explain why. If an electrician goes to work, he uses his tools. He needs his tools. No, all his tools, like a bartender would be with shake and whatever. And anyway, his tools. Okay, he works. He needs his tools. Fine. What happened to this tool when he finished work? He put it back in the bag. He takes it home. He forgets it until the next day he goes to work. Correct? Right. Yes and no are the tools. So, you're at work. Of course you have to yes and no. It's communication. You need to. It's part of the life in which you're dealing. But when you finish work, where that yes and no belongs to? Nowhere. You should not relate to yes and no. Because whatever you yes and no, you're closing the door. There is no progression, there's no learning. You have to replace it. Say, yeah, but what do you do then? I say, 4 words. Maybe, perhaps, could be, possibly. So you're telling me something? Maybe you're right, possibly right. You could be right. How do I determine whether you're right or not? I'm going to find, if I'm interested, I'm going to find out if what you said, it relate to me, or you relate to life, or relate to things. If it's not, dustbin. Simple. You say, dustbin.
I think this is the best advice I could ever hear about it. Because life is not black and white, has so many faces, and the beauty is exactly that. The fact that it could, maybe, and etc.
Possibly.
Well, Peter, at this stage, I think we need to finish it on a high note. This has been the highest note. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for sharing those insights.
Thank you.
They are really valuable to us. And I'm extremely pleased to be considered you a real mentor of our industry in every sense.
Thank you.
Every sense.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very kind. Thank you. Very, very kind. And well, here we are not an island. Okay, we all need each other.
Yes, we do.
We're all part of that. So whatever one can say, let's hope that is helpful.
Yes, it is. And guys, if you want to meet Peter Dorelli, check it out. The schedule of all the bar show happening in Europe. For sure, you will find it there. That's correct, yeah?
As I said, I love my job. I love bartending. I love who I represent, and I love people. So where can it be the best place? Bar show is the best place. Something is the best place. The energy is buzzing. The energy is there, and
I love it.
And I love that energy.
I love it.
The energy.
This is my point.
Don't give up on me. Don't give up. Don't give up on me, guys. You know, you're young, but I love you, youngsters. Don't give up on me. Keep feeding me with that wonderful energy.
My God, you are. I feel you're younger than many of the people I met in my life, and probably the age, it doesn't say that you're young, but your mentality and your physical appearance, the way the aura that you have is young. So
yes.
Keep up. Yeah?
Thank you.
Never give up.